this is Karen Bauer. I'm an acupuncturist in New York City, and I'm setting up a YouTube channel in order to introduce Daoist medicine. Now, what's Daoist medicine? You've heard of acupuncture. You've heard of maybe traditional Chinese medicine, which is the medicine most acupuncturists practice in the United States and in China. But Daoist medicine predates that. Chinese medicine originated thousands of years ago. There's documented evidence, extensive writings that go back at least 2,000 years and more. Daoist medicine is one of the oldest forms of Chinese medicine. Most of the people who practice acupuncture today in the United States do not practice classical medicine. They practice a modern version of the medicine. It was invented in the 1950s by Chairman Mao for a good reason, both good and bad reasons. He wanted to send tens of thousands of doctors out to the most remote, poorest villages in China. These people didn't even have basic hygiene, principles of hygiene to avoid infections from water and sewage. So he had a good intent in helping these people who really had no health care at all. But his reasons were also political as well. The good thing is he did achieve something very important. However, he took the classical medicine that had been practiced for thousands of years and he cut it down. It was taught in a classroom in 1 year, whereas the original medicine, it was a 10-year course. You lived with the master. It was a one-on-one training, an apprenticeship, night and day. So obviously the difference in scope is enormous. I practiced Daoist medicine. I was trained by a Daoist master who was trained by his Daoist master. His name is Jeffrey C. Yuen. He's highly respected in the world of classical medicine as well as in academic circles for his ability to read the classical medical texts. Very few people who read Chinese can actually read the classical language, and almost no one can read the medical texts. They're very specialized language. Many of those characters are not even known today. You might be surprised that acupuncture is actually pretty widespread in our culture today. For instance, the Metropolitan Opera, they have an acupuncturist on staff there. Many sports teams, baseball, basketball, football, have acupuncturists on staff to treat their athletes after a game to make sure that they don't have any lasting injuries. Olympic athletes are pretty famous for using acupuncture, and not just Chinese athletes. They use it to prevent injury. They use it once they have injuries to minimize the damage and get them back to their game as quickly as possible. And also they use it to improve their performance. One of the biggest researchers into acupuncture might surprise you. It's the US military. They started using acupuncture about 12 years ago. It started in the Air Force, and Dr. Richard Nemtsov, an MD, brought it in to use for pilots who had to fly these $500 million planes, jets, but they couldn't take medications for pain and other problems because it affects their judgment, their reaction time. So they looked for an alternative way to treat these people, and acupuncture is a very good non-drug way to treat pain and other problems. So they started using it there, and over time it started to spread to the other branches of the military. And now the US military is the biggest single researcher into the uses of acupuncture today. There is research being done in places like Walter Reed, the big military hospital outside Washington, D.C. They're particularly studying its use in the complex pain syndromes that we see in the present wars from soldiers injured by the explosive devices. And they're finding it very effective for chronic pain. It's very gratifying to me as someone who practices this medicine to see just how much acupuncture has really begun to infiltrate into society, how many people turn to it for help with their health problems. In my own practice, for instance, I have treated lawyers, I've treated physicians, I treat executives, I have a couple of celebrity chefs I've treated. These are all people who aren't necessarily very sick, but they come in because they have high stress, jobs. They work very long hours and they need something to stay well, something to counteract the stresses of their job because they love what they do and they want to keep doing it. This medicine did start out as preventive medicine originally, and one of the things you can use it for, if you come in on a regular basis, you can prevent burnout. You can prevent getting sick in the first place. If you take an illness out, the minute it comes in, it's very easy to get it out. If you wait until the illness has gotten a chance to get deep inside the body and into the various organ systems, then it's a lot more challenging and takes a lot more time to get it out. One of the things I'm going to be doing with this channel, I'm going to interview other practitioners doing interesting areas of medicine, interesting specialties. I would like to also talk about various interesting historical facts. There's a lot of great stories in Chinese medicine. For instance, you'd be surprised to know that they were doing brain surgery, even plastic surgery, over 1,000 years ago, and they actually invented anesthesia way before Western medicine did. So these are some of the types of things that I'm going to discuss in this new channel. And I am hoping that I can entrance you, that I can enchant you, fascinate you, and ultimately make you fall in love with Taoist medicine. So thank you for listening today, and I will see you next time. If you'd like to be notified of my next video, just hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Bye-bye.